Hello, 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 everybody. This is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald, bringing you your full moon in Gemini reading here for this evening. This is December 7th, 2022, and I have used the traditional Rider-Waite deck this evening. Now, I want to just let you know the buzzword of this full moon is actually going to be ambition. Drive and ambition are going to be key here. Looking at your goals, really going to be establishing your roots in where you're moving forward and what are you setting your intentions for. Okay, so this is really big energy. I think that's great, especially since it is December, and so a lot of you might be thinking about, reflecting on this past year, thinking about what you might be getting into for this next year, and so this is perfect energy for this full moon, okay? At least I think so. So where we have established ourselves and gotten ourselves to from the past, we're looking at like the way past. It's a mirror opposite of what we had experienced back in June of 2021. So this is the card that represents the energy that we have. We have the Knight of Swords. So really coming in fast, coming in hot. And I really feel like this is going to be about making fast decisions, quick decisions. I feel like things are going to be happening quickly in terms of really releasing things that are not serving you. Now, when we talk about the full moon, that is something that we do anyways with the full moon. We do release a lot of things. So if you're one that tends to meditate with the intent to release certain things, make a list, journal about it, things like that with the full moon, this could really be a powerful time to do that for you. But really feeling like specifically with this full moon for us, we're going to be leaving a lot of the negativity and self-doubt in the past. I'm getting this feeling with this that it's going to be about leaving the past in the past and really leaving this negativity and self-doubt in the past once and for all, right? Leaving it behind. And so when you're working on that and working through all of that energetically to support you, it's always good to maybe, if you are into crystals and feel inclined to work with those crystals, a quartz crystal is also a good crystal to work with. I'm really feeling inclined to talk with you about that, but the quartz crystal helps to transmute those energies. And then also I'm feeling inclined to tell you that with this full moon, working with a jade would also be very good, because that's going to help you in supporting your discovery of your ambitions, your true inner drive, where that's coming from, and to help you to really live up to those expectations in terms of helping you to live a more fulfilled life. So really big energy. What I get with this, it's funny, the word that came through was stratosphere. So when you think about this, I really feel like this is gonna like propel you like into like levels you've never reached before in terms of your success accompanying your efforts. Okay, so I really feel like coming in with this, it's going to be energy that's very stable, like a high level of stability coming in with this, right? It's when you think about when you get to the stratosphere, right, and you rocket ship yourself to that, there's a lot less fluctuating in terms of, like the weather, right? You're not going to be blown from your path. You're really going to be less likely to be distracted and deviate from that path. So in terms of your drive and your ambition, we want to be making sure that you're focusing on your why. So adaptability right now, getting it off the ground, is definitely key. I feel like, when you are in this position, you might have a tendency to be really overwhelmed when you look at the big picture of wanting to get started, right? So when we talk about our adaptability, this is really about how, we really don't need to get in our head about all of that, because when we get in our head about all of that, it can feel really overwhelming and really feel heavy at times. And so you don't necessarily want to get into that space, because then it's going to make you feel as though maybe, oh man, I just want to give up. I don't want to start down that path, because then what if I fail, right? There's this fear of failure that kind of comes in with that. especially if things, once you start down that path, don't reflect how you want them to look externally. Maybe you're not reaching the level of success that you had hoped. It's not reaching your expectations. You really have to kind of recognize that when you're manifesting things, or when you're trying to attempt to achieve things, when you start to take steps in that direction or take action toward that, you sort of start to envision things differently, and you get imaginative, and you start to work with the energy more, and that's an amazing thing. But as you start to tweak your vision, it takes time for that vision to then really adjust externally as well. So what you're manifesting and what you're working toward and what you're working on, that progress showing up externally, it really lags. Like, it's going to take time for that to truly show up in your external world. So what you're working with that's showing up externally for you, that's something that you had hoped for like way back when. And so, this is really about focusing on your dreams, your visions, your goals, and doing it at one step at a time, okay? So right now, you might be in a position where you're feeling like, gosh, I feel like I'm rocking the boat, and it's really uncomfortable out here. The waves are really high. I don't like it. And so you're feeling like when you're getting uncomfortable, you start to kind of question, is this right for me? Am I doing the right thing? I'm feeling unsafe, right? All the things kind of come into question. So when you're out to sea in that boat, that's what you could be experiencing. And so that's, where the adaptability kind of comes in, right? We have to do our mind over matter, and we have to understand that great things don't always live in our comfort zone, right? We have great ideas, great visions. They all come to fruition as we step outside our comfort zone, take actions outside our comfort zone as we feel called to do so. So it's about rising above those insecurities, right? And so, really not allowing those insecurities to keep you stuck in that boat, in the calm seas. That's really great. It's peaceful. So once you achieve that goal and you're in that peaceful space, that's really great. But it's also not really propelling you on a path of growth or allowing you to really reach your limit in terms of what you're capable of doing, right? So just kind of look at that way. Now, I feel like when we focus on one step at a time, and this is what I'm feeling guided to have you guys focus on, is that each step that you take, it's just a reminder that you're one step closer, right? So if you're focusing on one step at a time, you can't get overwhelmed with that big picture idea. And when you're not getting overwhelmed with that big picture idea, the anxieties and such, they can't cloud your vision as much, right? So you just come up with a plan, and you focus on that one step at a time, right? And don't worry so much about the outcome or how it's going to happen, right? The energy comes in to support you, spirit comes in to support you, and you just have to trust and have faith in that. But really, each day, if you're waking up feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling like, gosh, I'm not sure how to achieve this, or I'm not sure how this is going to happen, right? You set your intentions, or you pray, right, about it, and really just focus on what it is that motivates you. Why are you doing it? What's your why, right? Because that's always going to keep you refocused and remotivated, because you certainly don't want to be in that boat in the same space 1 year from now, right? So you think about, if I had started December 1st, I would have all this time to have built up some momentum, right? Or if you think about this time next year, gosh, think about how far I could be, right? So really looking at it in that sense, it can be very helpful, because a year from now, all those steps really add up. And then when you journal about it, maybe make a progress report for yourself, check in, once a month, however that looks like for you, and really take a peek at how far you've come, so that you're feeling accomplished. then that really will help to motivate you as well. So it will help you to get excited. That is for sure. It will help you to get excited. So what do we have for the cards in terms of each of the signs for the full moon coming in this evening here in Gemini? For air signs specifically, we have the Four of Swords and Two of Cups. So when we talk about our air signs, we're talking about Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Okay, so Four of Swords, Two of Cups. Now for you guys, I really feel like this is going to be a time in which you might want to honor rest, right? Take a moment to really go from like an overdrive and take a step back and allow yourself to maybe accept help from others in accomplishing tasks, and really allow yourself to recharge, rejuvenate, so that you're then giving to others from that space of overflow where you're not going to be draining yourself as much, okay? And so when you reach that space where it's like an equal give and take, there's this balance going on, this equilibrium, you know, I feel like there's a respite for you that you are like, keep calm and then carry on, right? It's in that calm that you reboot yourself, so to speak. You get this recharge of energy. You might feel more insights coming in, connects with your intuition, intuitive hits, right? And so I feel specifically for this, you know, there could be some air signs that are entering back into the workforce after having some sort of a hiatus. So I feel like there's an element here that you don't really know what to expect, but you have a vision for yourself and what that might look like. When you do return, know that this isn't going to be exactly what you had envisioned, okay? But it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to fail. I by no means feel that this is going to be a failed endeavor. However, I do feel that it's important for you to focus on an environment that's very nurturing. I feel that this environment, although it can at times be just a little bit chaotic, and I don't sense that that's like overly chaotic or that it happens all the time, I feel that this is a very supportive environment for you. So I feel with this, there's this great big spreading of your wings, and the term expansion even comes in with that. So this is really going to allow you to grow, okay? So please don't discount things. If opportunities come up and you feel compelled to see that through, don't hesitate to do so. Okay, so fire signs. I just got to see which ones were for fire signs here. I got all my cards mixed up, sorry. Fire signs, so Leo, Sag, and Aries, we have the King of Wands, Two of Pentacles, and the absolute most beautiful Temperance. This card of alchemy, I love it so much. So, you know, I really feel with fire signs, this is really, the term judgment comes through for fire signs, okay, with this full moon. I feel in the past, there might have been a lot of turmoil, and, you know, I feel as though the moods have been temperamental, so to speak, where you realized that it's been very draining on you and you're really wanting change. And so I feel like this is going to be more, this full moon is going to be really more about letting go of guilt and resentment that has, you know, been building up, because you're kind of harboring that. And so this is going to be a big release for you. So really, if you feel inclined to journal, if you feel inclined to meditate, if you feel inclined to go out and I feel maybe even specifically sit with some water, like a bowl of water, and sit under the moon. And I don't know why I feel inclined to say that, so I'm going to say that. But I just feel that this is going to be a form to really help to have you release some of these emotions. So, you know, I feel like you have high hopes, fire signs. I feel like this is going to be, you know, in the past, you've had some hard times. This is going to be a shift from those hard times into a lighter energy where you're having higher hopes for yourself in your relationships, and you're holding yourself to a higher standard, so to speak. And I like that because you've had a hard time getting to where you're at now. And so, be proud of yourself for how far you've come. That's for sure. And I really feel like there's times where you even have a hard time accepting that you're human. So whether you've had a hard time accepting that you're here in this physical plane, whether you've had a hard time accepting some of our human flaws, so to speak, while we're here, right? We have to come back to self-forgiveness this full moon. Okay, fire signs. So I really feel like coming back in to connect with ourselves, right? And connect with our self-care, connect with our higher selves, and really forgive ourselves. So forgiveness would be a very big key aspect in working through this energy with this full moon, okay? And if there's, we talk about Gemini. Gemini is a communication, it stands for communication. And so we really want to be able to speak our truth. If there's things that you need to say, right, to help you to work through some of those emotions of the guilt, right, or the resentment, right, that you've kind of been holding on to. It's going to help you to work through those emotions, to talk about those things with a close friend, or maybe you have to have a conversation with someone about something that's happened in the past, right, to help you to feel through those emotions, because you've got to feel it to heal it, all right? You can't just keep burying it. So, I feel also as you work through that and you shift into that lighter energy of the higher hopes, coming in with that after you work through all of it, and I'm getting big chills, it's good stuff, you're going to be maybe in a position to maybe move in with someone, you're going to be cohabitating with someone new, and I feel that this is a chance to do things differently, and I do feel like, work with that energy and don't let it get away from you. Be in tune with yourself every day. Be in tune with the dynamic every day of what's happening. Do a daily check-in with yourself and with others, right? So that you're not in a position to let it get carried away, taking things for granted, and, hold yourself accountable. So, beautiful energy, fire signs. Love it. Moving into earth signs. Now, my fellow earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorns. I did a Taurus reading for a weekly reading, and I did that yesterday, and it was an amazing reading, big change energy coming in. So if you feel inclined to listen to that, I encourage you to do so, because the exact cards that came out, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same cards that came out for them yesterday, came out today. So we have 3 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. What this says to me, because the 3 of Swords came out first, then the Wheel of Fortune, is we're moving from a time of not so great stuff, some pretty disappointing stuff, into some really great stuff. And I love this. And that's exactly what came through yesterday for us. So, I feel like you might be in a space where you've just been like rolling with the punches, right? And you've been down and out for a while. I feel like you're just kind of getting used to taking the hits. And so you're just like, yeah, I expect it. But the tides are turning, and it is your time to shine, because this is destined, right? This is pre-planned, and it is your time to shine. There's no escaping this. You are destined for greatness. And so this is an excellent energy that's coming in with this. I do feel that anything that you put your mind to, you can achieve it. Anything that you choose to do, you're fully supported. I don't feel that this really needs a lot of explanation. I do feel, however, coming in with this energy, you're going to draw a lot of attention to yourself, and I do feel that this could put you in a position that could have all eyes on you, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. What I will say is that at times this can draw some jealousy from other people, right? So be mindful of those that you are sharing your endeavors with, sharing your successes with, right? it's okay to celebrate your successes, and it's okay to be successful. Everybody has their time to be successful, and everybody has their time that they're taking the punches, right? Because that's part of the cycles. That's part of the wheel of fortune, because it's constantly turning. But understand that you want to celebrate your successes with those that also want to celebrate your success, not those that are maybe sending ill intent your way or are concerned for themselves at that time, right? So always stay humble, okay? And if you are in a position to help other people by all means. And I will say that if you are, because I'm Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, and I've been on a journey myself, especially this past year, maybe even over a year. So I will say that as humble as I thought that I have been, I think that it's always more and more lessons, right? It's like peeling that onion and peeling back the layers and learning it more deeply. So if you've been on any sort of a ride like I have been on, then I'm sure that you already have gotten to a space where you have been more humbled and more humbled and more humbled by just everything that has transpired in the course of your past year, and how spirit shows up for you, and how you can help others. And so all of the things that kind of like all the forces kind of working together, it's like a puzzle, and it's really amazing. So just be mindful of others and their struggles, and keep your heart open to them as well. So moving into water signs, my Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Now I'm a Scorpio Ascending, which is probably part of my my amazing qualities, right? My ability to connect with my intuition so easily, and I'm so grateful for that. So I got some water in me, but I will say I love this for the water signs, because I feel as though you guys are out there right now kind of like picking apart this whole reading, and I love it. So we'll get started with you. We have here the Ace of Wands, and this is great energy for ideas and passion projects, right? Like, love, right? All the things. So I just love the Ace of Wands, and when it comes up, it's like boom, this divine gift handed to you, and it's great. So what I feel for water signs with this full moon is, I feel as though you're deciphering this message, right? I feel, if you feel inclined to, maybe go back and listen to this, and maybe close your eyes and just write down little things, what you're seeing with your eyes closed as you're listening, or words that kind of really hit you in your feels. I feel like there's a deeper meaning here for you specifically. So I feel like this is going to be something that you'll realize. Or maybe you'll listen to this, and then later you'll be digesting it a little bit more deeply and have some sort of epiphany from it, okay? Because even though not all of these messages have been for you, sometimes we do have from the collective, they give us bits and pieces that are beneficial for the collective as a whole, right? Even though it isn't necessarily for water signs, right? So maybe that would be something that would be helpful for you. But I do feel all the buzzwords overall coming in for you with this Ace of Wands. We've got clarity, vision, speaking your truth, right? And I feel like there could be a truth being revealed to you with this full moon. Okay, so I don't know why, but I definitely feel as though, okay, so this word scam kind of comes in with this, okay? I'm getting when I feel into this, I feel as though there is an essence with it that is, has there been a mask on? Have you had a mask on that you would like to take off, right? So there's that element to it, but then there's this whole other element of, I definitely feel as though there is someone in your surroundings that has been pulling the wool over your eyes, so to speak, right? I feel that that's going to be coming to light now. There's a truth that's going to be revealed. Information will come to the surface, right? Now, will it happen exactly tonight, today? You know, maybe. Maybe it will happen in the coming days. But I do feel that that's going to be happening, okay? That is definitely going to come to surface. So, who might be that person? I don't know, right? But who comes to your mind, I guess, but I should ask, you know, would be the question that I would pose to you when I say that. Maybe you had somebody specific come to your mind that might give you an inclination as to who that might be, because your intuition will always trump somebody else's intuition. Okay, so just kind of feel through that. But I do feel, again, I'll go back to saying that the Gemini really brings up a lot of communication. It represents communication. And so, you know, I feel with this Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, they tend to have, this innate ability to read others very well. But we tend to want to believe the best in other people. And I think that when this truth is revealed, it's really going to be a bit more of a harsher reality, that we can't always take things for face value. We can't always put our desire to see people at their best at the top tier, right? We have to always, sometimes our intuition kind of trumps things. And so going forward, you might allow that intuition to navigate a little bit more in terms of relationships, because I think that this is going to be disappointing for you for sure. So that not everybody always has your best interest at heart. So unfortunately, but I think the deeper meaning here is this new beginning, right? We want you to look at some creative endeavors, look at some creative pursuits as a result of this full moon in terms of your ambitions, your goals. And I feel that could have you coming into alignment, Spirit is saying alignment, to some really great things, great opportunities, great people who you're meant to be around. And it won't feel forced at all. It will feel great. The energy will feel great with it. So I love that so much for you, water signs. So I do so hope that some of this has resonated for you guys in some way, shape, or form. Of course, take what resonates, leave the rest. And as always, if you're interested in your own personal reading, I'd love to be able to do that for you. You can hit me up in the messenger on Enchanted Emerald Facebook, or you can email me at enchantedemeraldny@gmail.com, or you can simply hit me up on the Square site to book a session with me, and that is pinned in the description box below here on YouTube, or at the top of the page on my Facebook. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I hope everybody has a phenomenal full moon. Hope it's magical. Take care.